Hello and welcome. My name is Connor Byrne. I've been working in Notion for approximately 3 years, and what we are going to go through today is building a subscription ledger in Notion. And what that means is there's a lot of subscriptions that we take on day to day or year to year, and I think it's important that people see how much money they spend per year or where their money goes each year. So today we're going to figure out how to do that in Notion. Let's get into it. Awesome. So today we are going to be working on a subscriptions template, and the first thing we need to do is create ourselves a page. In this case, I've made a page called bank, and the bank is really just where all my financial Notion templates would sit. And then I'm creating a page called subscriptions. And subscriptions, first thing we're going to create is a table. More importantly, we're going to create a data table, and we can, for this specific purpose, we can make this inline because this is just a page with a database on it. You don't really have to get any deeper than that. If we wanted to change things over, we could always do a full page database, and we could go through with that in the future, but for now we'll stick to an inline database. We're going to name this subscriptions, and the first thing that we want to do is we can keep this as name. Another word could be account, so like the actual account that you have for that specific provider. And in fact, maybe that's the best word for it, is the provider. Now, the provider is also going to have a type. I think it's important to know where your finances are going, so one place that your finances could go would be entertainment. Another would be maybe education. Another one, a lot of people have like iCloud or Google Drive, so let's find a storage type. And probably another good one would be health and or fitness. Something like a gym would be within this category. Okay, so with these in mind, I'm just going to change the coloring so that they're all different. There you go. Now, we have a provider and we have a type. The first thing that we think about when there's a subscription is what is the price of the subscription. So I'm going to do a number called price. Now, with that price as a number, I always do this where I will click on a property and I will go in and click edit property when this populates the first time. Anyway, we're going to have all of these be in US dollars. Now you could change it to whatever currency is yours, but in this case I live in America, so it is for price in dollars. We're going to do another number. I can't type today. Number, and this is going to be for months. The number of months, and so this can stay a number. So that's usually a calculation where we're saying, what's the subscription? So what's the price and how many months are we locked into this thing? With these two items, we can really fuel our entire template. So let's say I am subscribed to, we'll do two different types. So we'll do Planet Fitness. So I'm a Planet Fitness member. It's a health and fitness, and I spend $23 on the Black Card a month, and then I'm doing that times 12 months. Now, a second one might be, in this case, I spend money on physical books, and when I shop for physical books, I buy them at Barnes and Noble. And I'll actually consider this as an education. I'm like self-educating, so we'll use this as an education tag. I spend $25 each year, so that'd be every 1 month, and here's why. I'm going to create a formula that gives us our calculation. First of all, we want to look at the yearly cost. So that's a simple properties formula. So we can create a formula, in this formula, we are going to call it yearly. And the reason we're going to call it yearly is just the amount of money you spend yearly. In order to get this calculation, we are going to multiply by prop price and prop months. Throw in a parentheses, and we have ourselves the yearly. We're also going to format the number as a US dollar. So right now, with these two subscriptions, per year, sum, spending $301 per year. Now, this number is all said and good. However, there is a reason that we could actually be even more defined on the yearly category, and that's to actually calculate the monthly cost. In order to create the monthly formula, there's a couple different ways. I will go through it in the way that I learned, which is actually to take the month's property and times it by the price property, but also make sure that if the month's property is 1 instead of 12 or 6 or whatever it is, that you would be able to return a monthly cost divided by the months. So, or the price divided by the months for a monthly cost. So, if property months equals 1, right? So we're saying if this property equals 1, so it's usually per year you're going to spend 12, or per year you're going to have 12 months times that price. So you spend that same price times 12, easy. But if you have a one-time fee per year, and that's what you pay, then that's going to be why we make months 1, not 12 or another amount. So in this case, if months equals 1, then we need to divide the property price by 12. And we will return so you're saying if the property equals 1, then we'll divide by the property price. Now, if it isn't 1, then it will defer to property price. Throw in a parentheses. There we go. So in this case, we spend $25, and it's times 12 months. Now, because we're getting this repeating number, we could round this number, and you could round it to $2 a month. And again, this is a property that's in a US dollar. So you could say you spend $2 a month, or you spend $23. Now, if you wanted to get specific, that's fine. For now, we'll stick with a round number. That makes the math really easy. But again, if you want to be more specific, $2.08 a month for Barnes & Noble, 23 because of the 12-month standard. And then we can calculate the sum. Now you're saying, I'm spending $25 a month, not just $300 a year. So that's another way of doing it. That's how you're going to calculate the amount of money you're spending. And obviously we could break it down by category. We could really use these table views. So let's say this is all subs, and then maybe we have one where we filter by how much am I spending on how much am I spending on the category, which in this case, let's say how much money am I spending on on health and fitness. There might be a couple health and fitness apps that you have. So that's all up. That's all under your discretion. But we'll call this health. All subs, when you have very few amount of subscriptions, that's fine. Now, what differentiates this type of template from Rocket Mortgage or whatever is you could at least give some context to why you're actually subscribed to this program, and that takes some more just takes some advanced formulating, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to actually calculate the usefulness of a subscription in Notion. So I'm going to actually start by creating checkboxes, and we're going to call this one daily. I'm going to daily, checkbox, weekly, I'm going to do monthly, let's do, since it's the same thing, we'll say use monthly, and use yearly. Okay, we have our checkboxes. This is going to actually show us how useful this application is to us. So in this particular circumstance, Planet Fitness, I use this daily, I use it weekly, I use it monthly, and I use it yearly. It's important to me. Barnes & Noble, I'm not using this yearly, but I am using this monthly, and I am using it yearly. So we've checked these boxes. Now, we could calculate a score for this. In order to create the usefulness score, we need to concept it before we write it. So we're thinking to ourselves, how do I provide a number system via checkboxes that will provide me with a number in which I could score? Now, thinking about usefulness, it might be cool to have a bar, so this formula will actually become a number. So in the number case, if I go in here and I format by number, we can actually create it into a bar or a ring. So it might be cool to do it out of say if I just in an opinionated fashion, I said, oh yeah, this is 3 out of 5 useful to me, but you have no basis point for how useful that is, then it's not really an accurate measurement of, you're actually biased in your opinion of how useful it is to you. It could be a really not useful subscription to you, but in your heart of hearts, you actually believe just because you're in it that it's more useful than it actually is to you. So let's use a metric system that equates the checkboxes that we created for using this item and converts it into a number. Let's say in this case, what percent useful is it in your life? So we'll convert these numbers and then just divide them by 100 to create a percentage point of effectiveness, and we can turn it into a bar. If that all made sense to you, congratulations. If it didn't, you can go back through and try it again. But what we're going to do is we're going to write this formula. So we want a round number, and we want to get it out of 100. Cool. Times. There's a function called unary plus. It converts a checkbox into a number. In this case, we want to convert our property of daily to a 1 or a 0. Now, because this is a formula, but we're starting the formula, parentheses goes here, but not in other properties. So we'll do weekly plus use monthly plus yearly, where we change the use case here. Now, that is encased, but we need to divide it by the number of checkboxes that we have, which is 4. And then because we times it by 100, we're going to divide it by 100. Now we have integers. Beautiful. How useful is this to me? In this case, we could put the usefulness score over here. Because all these items here, I mean, realistically, like you could do it in this table view if you wanted to. But, since, everything fits still, so we can still put this right here. Everything fits. You check these boxes and the integer changes. In this case, we want to format this number. I'm going to format it as a bar and then format the number to be out of 1. So 1 being 100% useful and 0 being 0% useful, you can now calculate this integer and get a bar that shows you how useful this subscription is. That's basically it. We've created a system in which we can log all of our subscriptions, its usefulness, its cost to us, and in a really simple and easy way, just with a few numbers. If you are interested in these types of templates, or you're interested in Notion in general, you can always reach out to support@connorburn.net, or you can drop a comment in the video below. I really like when people comment on the videos. I think it's really cool that you engage with the material, and I would be really stoked to help in any way that I can. Now, the template that we've created today is going to be available on my website, connorburn.net/shop. This one will be available to you for free. Go ahead and take it. There's a lot of apps out there like Rocket that are free, and that's an amazing app. So, why charge something for this? I mean, the goal here is just to show you how it's done. So with that in mind, that's available on my website. You're more than welcome to take it, use it however you feel. I'm just excited that you hopped on the video today, and I'm excited that you're using Notion because I think it's a great tool, and I think it helps people think in ways that we've never actually had the ability to think in before. So with that being said, my name is Connor Byrne. Thank you for stopping by our Notion tutorial today on building a subscription ledger, and I will see you all in the next one.